like going to the, because when you do a master's, that's like, yeah, understandable, you want to be more professional in the career, but doing a PhD is more, you want to dig deep in actually what is, again, what is the why behind the aging of whatever disease you did your PhD in, and the kind of skills you got is huge, and it takes a lot of time. So the question is, what motivates someone, or like you specifically now, to pursue a PhD in health sciences and do it in aging? Like, did you choose to do it in aging or this disease? You have an interest in that disease specifically, or it was like the options that you have?
It was kind of like the options, but there were other options that were great, but I didn't feel like they were as applicable. And so to me, aging is the ultimate why of science, right? Like, or of human health, is how do life starts to wane and
Decay,
things
yeah.
start to go wrong, because aging is the most important risk factor for most diseases, right? And so that's kind of the understanding the forest rather than the trees, is understanding like the whole system of the body and how things start going down, how things start failing. And so I just find that question very exciting and interesting.
Yeah. So again, like when you finish your PhD, you start looking for jobs in US, or what did happen after that?
So while I was doing my PhD, I was, again, saying kind of redox imbalance and how sirtuins can have a beneficial impact. How do we activate sirtuins, and some of the specific pathways that are deficient in aging. And so there was this lab in the United States, in Oklahoma, that was doing work in this exact same problem, even though it was not in arthritis, but it was age-related. And so while I was doing my PhD, I spent 3 months in this lab. And so it worked really well. I liked the environment, and I liked the university and the field and the type of research that they were doing. And so when I finished my PhD back in Spain, they offered me the postdoc immediately to go back.
That's really interesting. So that was like kind of internship you do, like most of the people in Spain or the PhD program in your university were doing that, or it's just like an option or an opportunity you take during your PhD?
Yeah, that was an opportunity that I took, that it wasn't a very common, like not many people choose to do that. I just wanted to learn about that technique and that specific question, that it was applicable to my research, and so yeah,
That worked out. Okay.
I thought it was a good idea, and I wanted to go and be in another country for a little bit. So.
So one thing that I have the question for is, what did you experience in this 3 months that makes your decision that you want to work in that environment? What was different between the research or the people or whatever environment? How it's different between Spain or doing PhD in Spain and doing a postdoc in US?
I think the pace, like it was so much more fast paced, and like I can see that we get results so much faster, and I felt much more motivated. I felt more excited about my research. I feel like in Spain, my motivation was starting to wane a little, and this kind of revived my motivation in science and doing research. So yeah, I think it was mostly like the fast pace, and then the environment was great. It was a very diverse lab. There was a lot of Europeans, but in general, the building, like, you have people from everywhere, and I had not been exposed to that before, and so it was like, wow, this is so cool. There's like people from all around the world, and everything is new and exciting. So.
Okay, so that's like the answer that you answered is very interesting, because I heard that from someone who is actually from Egypt. His name is Dr. Ahmed Touhi. He's now a professor, like a assistant professor in Mercer University. We beat them in the football matches, but that's out of the podcast now. However, he did his PhD, his master's and PhD in Germany, and then he did a postdoc in U.S. in University of Washington. He answered exactly the same answer. Like I asked him what the difference between doing research in Europe and U.S. He said it's the base. In Europe, they are chill. They are like doing science for the sake of science.
Yeah.
They don't wanna answer the question. They don't wanna publish. They are not competing with each other.
They're not as competitive. Yeah.
But in US, it's like you are competing with everyone. You want to be the first. You want to do it. You want to like push everything to the limits. You want to publish as soon as possible and as good impacted research as possible. So going back to the same answer is like coming from the base, and the base actually influence the competition from for the people to start doing their research, love it, like that thrilling in like getting the new data is here.